and welcome to Kinda Keto with Donna. On my channel, I like to do some grocery hauls, a few what I eat in a day, some cooking videos, budgeting tips, and some keto inspiration for you. Today's video is going to be a cooking video, and I am going to be making some low-carb huevos rancheros. So stay tuned. I have done this a few times in the past, and I really like it. It's fun to do something a little bit different than, just scrambled eggs. It's still an egg dish, but it's a beautiful egg dish. And it's Mexican flavors and still considered low carb. I got this recipe, I don't know, last year sometime from tastylowcarb.com. I do a couple little tweaks, but we don't use beans in her recipe. This is with chorizo. So that's kind of fun. But we got some queso fresco, we got some cilantro, we got some jalapeno, avocado. We're making it Mexican. So here we go. These are the ingredients that I'm going to use for these low-carb huevos rancheros. Obviously, your eggs, whatever eggs you can get, especially lately. But I try to get these pasture-raised eggs if possible. And I'm going to use a little olive oil. And that's just, for cooking in the pan. So just a little bit of that. I'm sure you could use avocado oil instead. It calls for red onion, which is probably more traditional, but I just like regular white onion. I think the red onion's a little strong for me sometimes. I didn't get a new tomato, but I have this little half a tomato I'll use. So some fresh tomato, optional. I know that's got a little carbs, but it's not that much. And I'm going to use a little jalapeno. And just a can of the diced green chilies. I just get the mild. And more uses for cumin. So our ground cumin. And that'd be for the main mixture. Obviously, the chorizo. Now that'll be for the main mixture. And then for the toppings, we've got some avocado and some queso fresco. And under here, I'll show you why I have it under here. I have some cilantro. There's my cilantro. And you could also put a little lettuce on there if you want, but I think I'm just going to do the cilantro. Now, the trick with these two is the queso fresco is real hard to find. It's not usually with regular cheeses. It's kind of like in a Mexican section by itself, or at least in Walmart. So kind of look around and then you'll find it. Plus, it's a type of cheese that you crumble. You grab a hunk and you crumble it over. It's so good though. And the chorizo was even a little hard to find. It's not like with your breakfast sausages and like bacon and that kind of thing. It's with regular meats, I believe. I got this a little while ago. And this is the pork, and it's got to be the Mexican chorizo sausage. And I only need like 4 ounces, so I'm going to put the rest of this in the freezer. I'm going to cut it up because that's 14 ounces. One link will be 7 ounces. So I'll probably use just about a half of a link. Oh, and I didn't add it, but obviously for huevos rancheros, you've got your low-carb tortillas you can use. I don't bother with it, so this is just actually out of the freezer. But I don't use it for this. I just put everything in a big bowl and put my eggs over it. I like it just like that. And save the tortillas for something else. As I'm prepping my vegetables, my tomatoes and onions and all that stuff, and the cilantro, I thought I'd mention the reason it's in this little container. I've been wanting to do this recipe for a while. I mean, I've done it a couple of times, but recently and for the video. And I got the chorizo, but then I didn't have the queso fresco. I had the queso fresco, but didn't have the cilantro, etc. So I never had all of my ingredients in one place. So then I got my cilantro, and I still didn't get around to doing the video because I needed a little time. And so I read that I usually put my cilantro with a slightly damp paper towel back in the bag, the produce bag, and in the fridge. So I read about putting it in a little container here with some water. And just put the cut ends in there. And I've had this probably at least a week. Because I was like, oh, great, I'm going to have to buy more cilantro because I still didn't get around to making the recipe. So I thought it looks really really good, really fluffy. So maybe that's a trick, a new cooking tip for you. I'm just prepping my water for my eggs. I just like to poach the eggs and put it on top of this mixture. A teaspoon or so of salt and a little white vinegar, apple cider vinegar, something like that. Just a little splash. Now you can look at my avocado toast video and it explains how I do my little swirl method. I am going to do my eggs ahead of time or while my sausage is cooking, because you can do that. That's awesome. And then you just put it in a little container and then you pop it in the hot water for 10 seconds and you have fresh poached eggs. Okay, so my chorizo comes in 2 tubes. So the whole thing is 14 ounces, so I'm going to use half of 1 link. I have bought it before with 6 smaller links, and I used 2 of those smaller links, but this is what I found this time, so I'm going to use half of this. I'm going to start cooking my chorizo, and you only cook it for about 5 minutes. I kept my gloves on for my jalapeno and everything, just in case it was kind of red. So, okay, in the meantime, I'm cooking my eggs. And that way I will have everything ready at once. I decided to do that whole link. I did cook up some and I'm cooking up a little bit more because I want to have it for a couple of days actually. You know, you're going through all this little trouble and why not have a big batch and all you got to do is zap it on another day. So I'm cooking just a little bit more of the chorizo. It's been so long since I had this, but I'm excited about it. I want to have it more than once. Okay, took the chorizo out and just put it aside. Keep warm. I just put it in the oven, but you could just put foil over it. And I'm going to add a little olive oil to the pan and start sauteing some veggies and tomatoes maybe a little bit later. So we're going to start with the onions. Saute that for about 2 minutes. And you get those little kind of brown bits from the chorizo, which is going to flavor the onions. Okay, now we're going to add our jalapenos, our tomato. I just do the whole can. What am I going to do with the other half? So this is my little green chilies, plus just a little liquid in there. You know, you also can use some green salsa in there, if you like. And I am going to use, I love cumin. It says like 1/8 of a teaspoon. I'm going to do about, what's that? Yeah, a quarter, maybe a smidge more. And I'm going to cook that for about 2 minutes. Well, that's finishing up. I was just going to show you I'm doing my coffee today, a little bit different. So I got my little smiley face mug. And I was out of my fun flavored keto collagen that I get from Perfect Keto. And so this is unflavored. And I did it yesterday with just that and the heavy whipping cream. And I guess I could tolerate that, but I still like little sweets. Plus, I did just buy these new skinny syrups. I found a trio of 3 different caramel ones. So I used to get the salted caramel collagen. So I decided to do this with the unflavored. And I still get my little kick of flavor. Now, this has the sucralose in it. It does call for 2 tablespoons as a serving, and I only use 1 tablespoon. So that's going to be my coffee today, and I'm about to put together my huevos rancheros. Time to put together. So I had my chorizo keeping warm in the oven. So I'm going to put that on the bottom. Okay, about half of what I had, and I'm saving the rest for another meal. Then our tomato, onion, jalapeno mixture. Top of that. These bowls are very special to me. They are from my mother. I grew up with these bowls. So every time I have a bowl, I think of her. I'm saving some of that as well. Now, here's my little thing about the cooking the eggs ahead of time. So now they were cooked and put in some cool water, and I'm just going to put them in here for like 10 seconds. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, 8 Mississippi, 9 Mississippi, 10 Mississippi. If you're doing something with hollandaise, you might not even have to bother doing this. Okay, take it out. And blot a little on paper towel. But the thing about the hollandaise is because it wouldn't, you can put the hot sauce on it. Oh, look how beautiful that is. Very pretty. Okay, here comes the best part, dressing this baby. We got some cilantro. We just love the smell of cilantro. We got some avocados. All diced up. I'm so excited. Love this dish. Alrighty, and then the messy but fun part, the queso fresco. So you just take a hunk and you just crumble it. It's a little different than other cheeses, but oh, it's actually cute, you know, kind of sprinkled like that. Hard to tell how much you need. I always need a lot. There we go. A little more cilantro. Alrighty. Oh, can't wait. Wash my hands. And it's time to eat. Isn't that a beautiful thing? There's the coffee, there's the waters, there's the vitamin. But I always like to show you, see how good I did in my poaching. So here we go. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. Perfect. Just perfect. Well, that was so good. Now, it's a kind of a weekend thing, and there's a few pots and pans to clean up, but it's just, it's so flavorful. It's so good. You know, a good Sunday brunch kind of thing, or a nice day off thing, and it just you know, gives a little variety to your morning meal. If you were going to use the tortillas, you put them in a pan with a little olive oil and kind of crisp them up a little bit. So you can put that as your base under, you know, in your bowl as your base, or you can fry them up like that and cut them up into strips, and then just sprinkle the tortilla strips on top of your dish. Like I said, for me, I really just didn't want to waste it on that. I think it's really good without it. I save my tortillas for wraps or a quesadilla or something like that I need a tortilla for. Now I did my poached eggs because I like poached eggs, but in her recipe, she just has, after you do the chorizo and after you do the vegetables, you put the vegetables to the side too, that mixture, keep that warm, and then you just fry the eggs in a pan. I'm not great at frying. I like over medium eggs, so they're harder to do, and I don't like sunny side up eggs. So I take the extra step and do the poached eggs, but you do whatever works for you. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video and gave you a couple little tips and a new idea for a lovely meal. And if you like this video and if you like content like this, give it a like and consider subscribing. Until next time, bye.